Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex.
And I'm Paul.
And together we're Back Left Media. Today we're talking all things marathons, helicopters, and what it takes to capture these events from above.
Can we drop down like 50 feet? I want to see if I can't get some silhouettes of those people in the underdeck.
That's so rad, dude. Yeah, that's what's up.
For years, we've been trying to find a place for what we do in the helicopter. We've worked with developers and real estate and landscapes and all sorts of projects, but where we feel like the most effective way to employ the usage of fine art photography and cinematic aerial footage is sports. And for us, the niche that we found that really works the best is marathons.
Over the last couple of years, we've shot the New York City Marathon a few times, the half marathon there, Boulderthon out in Colorado. And over the next couple of years, we're hoping to shoot all the world majors. And while each one of these races comes with its own set of challenges and goals, there are a few things we do each and every time to ensure a successful mission.
And when these missions are successful, we feel like from the aerial perspective, we are capturing the breadth and the scale of these events. We're talking about tens of thousands of people who are individually running these races, but as a community of runners, culturally, we're seeing the impact illustrated from above. And it's an incredible sight to see, but let alone capture and then be able to impart the emotion and the feeling of the day.
Okay, so let's talk about the planning that goes into something like this. There's a lot that goes into these race days, and as our role has increased over the years, so has our need for more detailed planning.
Every one of these races starts with a wish list, whether it's a wish that we have, a photo idea, or an angle that we have, or a client's wish list, but that's where we start, first and foremost. Then what we do is we figure out how much flight time we're gonna need, what's gonna be possible within that flight time, how much ground can we cover. Sometimes it means that we have to kind of reel back in either our ideas or our clients' ideas, depending upon how much flight time and what's a priority for us. Once we have the wish list, the flight time, we start to figure out what's actually possible. Whether or not we want to be at the starting line, we want to be at the finish line, who we're capturing for, right? Our clients, ourselves, or even a news outlet like Getty. All of these things go into using the time that we have in the air the best way that we can.
A big part of what we're managing here throughout the race is the timeline of events of where the pros will be at and where the rest of the runners will be at.
So here's what we know. We know when the elites and all the waves are starting. And we know, for the most part, we're talking about 2 hours and 10 minutes before the elites get to the finish line.
And so we're doing a lot of planning around that. We want to make sure we're in the areas that are impactful and make for great imagery when they are there. And then we're using our time to circle back and cover the main group, the main waves coming through. And again, balancing that with being in the right spots at the right time when the course feels full and there's all that energy. And it really makes for much better images that way.
So that is our window of opportunity to capture not only the elites, but all the other waves that are coming through the early part of the course before we know when we have to get to the finish line to capture the elites coming across.
So in practice, that just looks like Paul and I sitting here at our desks, zooming through Google Earth, trying to find different frames, trying to see what we can get to in a certain time, planning our whole flight out on paper beforehand. And it's just a big puzzle that we're kind of working on here for weeks leading up to the event. And at the end, then we come out with a dedicated minute-by-minute timeline for how the day is going to look.
So long story short, planning is important. Bringing an idea to life is the first steps are in pre-production. And it is almost, if not more important than actually getting up in the sky and shooting. Okay, plan is in place. Everything is good to go. Let's get into the good stuff. We're talking about gear. And gear is really determined by our plan. So for me, I'm going with 2 camera bodies, always 2 camera bodies because I can't change lenses while I'm in the helicopter. One is this kind of wider perspective, whether it's a 15 to 35 or it's a 24 to 70 lens. One of those 2 is on one of my bodies. I'll always have that wide angle lens. But for the first time we flew the marathon, I knew I needed something different. I knew I needed a longer lens. So we chose the 1 to 500. And for me, it was the first time that I'd ever used the 1-500 in a helicopter. Typically, I'm shooting 70 to 200 because I'm not necessarily far enough away to use those deeper focal lengths like the 1-500. So that first flight was a little bit nerve-wracking. Am I going to be able to hold it steady enough to get clean shots? Am I going to be able to shoot fast enough without there being noise because the 1-500 is a variable aperture lens? All these things were going through my mind, and then once you get up there and you're in it, you realize like this right here, this lens, this is the perfect lens for this job. It allows me to get deep into the streets. It allows me to get details. It allows me to get these images that I don't know that people have seen before. So just this, an entire frame filled with thousands of people coming up over a bridge or coming down the street. All of these things are done with these two lenses. I'm telling a story of the cultural impact of it, but I'm also trying to bring it down to a granular level with that ultra zoom telephoto lens that I'm using.
Now, video, on the other hand, that is a bit of a different story. The gear for video over the last couple of years has been a bit of a process. And just like Paul, the plan and the shot list does dictate the gear a lot. When we go up, we talk about either shooting what's outside the helicopter or what's inside the helicopter. Now, sometimes we're doing jobs where the main focus is Paul and his process. And sometimes we're doing jobs where the main focus is what's happening outside the helicopter. And these marathons, these are jobs where we are definitely prioritizing what is outside the helicopter. And so with that, I am usually reaching for the DJI Ronin 4D. It does a really great job at keeping shots stable and allowing us to shoot footage that is in real time, which I think is really important for these races. You want to see the movement of the runners and all of the energy out there. You lose a lot of that when you slow things down. Maybe it's just a personal preference thing, but that's what I like. I don't like having to slow everything down. Now there's plenty of times where we do slow the footage down to help with that stabilization, but anytime that we can deliver full speed, real-time footage, stabilized well out of the camera, that is always the goal. The 4D is a great camera. It's great for this, but like all gear, there are trade-offs. There is no perfect camera, and the price to pay with the 4D is its reach. It is the focal length. Because of the wind and the power of the gimbal, it's hard to really push past 35, 40, 45 millimeters. Sometimes you can get away with 50, but I'm typically shooting on a 24 to 70 lens on that, and anytime I push past 50 millimeters, it is really hard to stabilize with the wind and everything going on up there. I would love to shoot on a 1-5 like Paul does and get those types of shots. Unfortunately, right now the technology is just not there yet. If anyone has a solution or any ideas, let me know. But we've been doing this for a long time and I have not been able to figure that part out yet.
We've done all the planning, we have all the gear, but this, in the end, is still a collaborative experience between Alex and I and our pilot. If we don't explain properly what our vision is in our mind and how that aligns with our client's needs to our pilot, he doesn't fully understand the scope of what we're doing. And this is going to be a less than mission. We're not going to come away with the images or the footage that we're looking for. And the more time that we have to explain in greater detail when we're already launched and flying above the event, the less time we have to focus on exactly what we're there to do. So planning, gear, and then the third biggest part about this is communication. We need to be here at this time, we need to do this, I want to be at this altitude. So all of these things that we're talking about, understanding what gear we need, understanding where we need to be, for how long we need to be, all has to be then filtered through our too much information filter and given to our pilot in these kind of consumable and understandable chunks of information.
And a big part of that too is speaking his language. So as much as we can, we're talking north, south, east, and west. We're giving exact altitudes, exact angles that we need to hit, and just to ensure that it's a seamless process while we're up there. Because like Paul said, we cannot be wasting any time out there. We've gone up with the plan to the minute, and we all need to be on the same page, or else all of that can get thrown off.
All right, if you can push in a little bit closer to the deck and drop another 100 feet.
Are you able to turn the nose to the right just a little bit? To the right?
Yeah, there he is. Can we drop down like 50 feet? I want to see if I can't get some silhouettes of those people in the underdeck. That's good right there.
Can we climb right here?
Yep, climb up.
Yep, just a little bit up.
Awesome, George. Oh yeah, that's perfect, George.
Because there's so much meticulous planning and communicating, we don't want it to be lost that every single time we have the opportunity to cover one of these events is super exciting for us. We love being up there. We love seeing the scale and the size of these events that are happening. And we hope that it comes through in our imagery and in our footage. It's just one of those things that we look forward to every single year.
And if it's not already obvious, this year in New York in November, we are going to be back. We're going to be covering the race again. And we are so excited to be back. We're so excited to take all these things that we've learned and apply them to more races this marathon season. And, hopefully more races in the years to come. And we're putting it out there right here, right in this video. We want to shoot all of the world majors. This is just one step in that process.
Berlin, Tokyo, Sydney, London, New York, Chicago. Let's go. We want world domination of all the major marathons. So if you're the guy or you're the girl, we're ready to work. So that's a wrap. New York City Marathon, November 2nd. Look to the skies. If you're around, we will be there. If you've made it this far, as always, we truly appreciate you watching, spending some time with us, learning what it takes to pull off these shoots. We hope to see you around more often. Remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, this is going to be bananas right here. I can feel it. This is what I'm talking about. Oh my God, I just got like a whole bunch of people. Oh, here you go, Paul. That's so rad, dude. People are eating it up. Yeah, that's what's up.